guys, my name is Matt. Welcome to the channel and welcome to this video. So I'm also the owner of glitchconsoles.com, and at the website we sell RGH Xbox 360s, and then we also offer send-in services. So if you're in the US, you guys can send us the Xbox 360 and we'll RGH it. Well, obviously we'll send it back. But anyways, in this video we're going to be doing a Trinity, so the Xbox 360 Slim. They're probably one of the easiest to do, to be honest with you. We're going to be doing an RGH3, like I said, so there's really nothing much to it. You just need a 3K or a 10K resistor. So it's pretty straightforward. We'll walk through it. You're going to need a Pico or a Nandex. I have a Nandex. I bought it years ago when I was super young, when I first tried my first RGH. Well, it was my first JTAG, technically. Or no, you know what? I can't remember if I tried a JTAG first or an RGH. Either way, I did it. I got it. I was probably like 10 years old. Well, I gotta go back and think how long that was. What it was. Either way, I'll do the math. I'll put it up on the screen then. But yeah, so I've had this thing for a while. This thing has served me really good. If you can find a Nandex, find it. I've heard problems with Picos and trying to do it that way. So if you can find a Nandex, find a Nandex. It'll serve you the best. So if you have an Nandex, cool. Follow along with this. I will show you guys how to connect your Nandex wires via this way. I will also have a diagram posted up on the screen on the points and where they should go. So let's get started. I've already kind of prepped the board in terms of cleaning it with alcohol, cleaning the points. Next is going to be just applying flux and then just doing little globs. Just getting some globs on there. We need some balls on there. We need something to stick the wires to. So I'm going to adjust the camera a little bit. I see it's a little off-centered, the zoomed in one. So let me do that, and then we'll get straight on to applying flux and soldering these on. All right. Cool. So first things first, let's go ahead and add flux. I'm kind of using like some old shitty stuff, so I've got to make sure that I get this stuff off like ASAP basically. And how I do that is pretty simple in terms of like technique. I just use my rework station to heat up the flux, get it kind of liquidy, and at the same time that I do that, I have like a cotton swab with alcohol in it, and I have that ready. So while it's liquidy, I'm just like dabbing it up at the same time. Because if I don't, this stuff will like basically harden to be like this brown, hardened, just like crystal. I don't even know how to describe it. So use a good bit. You don't want to go too crazy. Like I said, I will clean this up then. And the first things first is just getting these points prepped and ready to go. So let's go ahead and get my solder ready. Alright, so there's two decent little balls right there that we need. So that's going to be for the green and the blue wire. And then we're going to go over to the, well, I consider it the left side. It really is kind of the left side, but it'd be the bottom side for you guys. We're going to start working on that one now. Alright, so moving on to J2C1. We're basically going to be doing, as you guys can see on the screen, all the way from the top to basically the third row. The third row we're going to stop. We're not going to do the right side, but we will do the third left that'll be yellow. So let me go ahead and do this. These points are a little funky. I've always found that like it was yellow, maybe it was orange. It just was super hard to always heat up and get stuck. So we'll see how it goes on this one. As you guys can see with that previous attempt right there on the last one on 2JC3, those kind of a bitch to get on. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't expect it to be that bad. It's never been that bad. So we'll see how it goes with these. So both of those extremely easy to get on there. I'm gonna get some of this solder off the tip of this first. Keep making some pretty big balls. Cool. What I might do is fix up this one down here just a little bit. Okay, so after doing a little bit of cleanup, so I'm still not happy with the top right and that the bottom left, which would be yellow. So I'm gonna try to touch up on that one. So I'm gonna add a little bit more flux on that, and then I'll take the heat gun and clean up all that flux. That's kind of caked on there, that's baked on there, because I obviously heated it up. Had to keep my heat gun there, so I wanted to fuse itself. So let's go ahead and add a little bit more flux to this. The flux is stuck to my hand. Cool. Definitely like that a lot better. So next step is just connecting the wires. So this is very easy. Just follow the color code. I try to be a little organized with my wires, so I start out with the blue and green first, and I kind of work myself from the right over to the left. So we'll do that like we see now. So we'll do technically let's do blue first, since this is the first wire I have, and then we'll do green. So you know what? No, I lied. Let's do green first. Let's do green. Indecisive me. So green on the right. 1, 2, orange A2, C3. So that'll be over here. Cool. That'll work. Again, these are temporary. It will come off later. Cool. Okay, so here we go, the yellow. Red next. Let's actually do pink. Not pink, I'm sorry. Like that salmon color. Okay, I guess that's orange for me. Or orange on the picture, but salmon color for me. Or maybe my color's just faded over the years. Could be. So it's being a little left right next to it. last but not least, the brown. Okay, congrats. Cool. We have officially connected the NAND wires. So that's pretty much all we need to do on the top side of the board. Now we need to work on the back side, which is now the hard part. This was the easy part. So let me go ahead and set that up, switch the board over, and we can start taking off the CPU cooler, the X clamp, and then scraping away at the PLL. So give me 1 second, guys. Okay, so welcome to FT2V1. So this one is just one of the points we need to connect to the wires. This is actually one of the points that the wire will have the resistor, the 3K resistor into. So we will be connecting. You can actually do it 2 ways. If you follow one of the guides, they will tell you you can actually use an SMD resistor. So you can use one of those very small, basically like you would see on the board, an SMD. You can connect that straight to that point, and then the wire to the end of the SMD resistor, and then that wire will go straight across to your PLL bypass that you scratch in the silk skin. So I won't do that. I'm just going to use a normal resistor. You guys can see. So we'll just use those. You guys can probably find these pretty cheap. I bought these, I think for like 15 bucks for, maybe like 12 bucks for 100 of them. But I bought a whole pack that had a bunch of different, you don't really need all of those. The only ones you really need is a 3K or a 10K if you're doing a Trinity. So anyways, we'll get straight on this. Stop talking. Let's get to working. So we don't need too much for this point, obviously. All right. That's pretty good to me. That's really all you need to do. Just give it a nice little dab. That's what you're going to connect your wire to. So the wires that we have are small enough that it'll be pretty flush with that ball. So we can move on to the next one. So the orientation would be a little weird for you guys, but we're going to be working on this bottom. This is basically the bottom row, second one. So maybe I can point that to you guys here. This one. So again, just flux, and then we're gonna dab it with the iron and see what it does. So nothing too crazy with that needed. Just pretty simple little dab to that one. The next one we're going to be moving on to is, I believe it's R3222 or something like that. It's going to be R3R22, that's what it is. So that one will be, if you guys can see where R3R22 is, there's 2 dots right above it to be the far or be the right dots. So it's going to be this one. This dot we're going to be messing with. So let's go ahead and start prepping that, and then we will also just dab that real quick, get a nice little fresh ball on that, maybe add a little extra to it, and we will be ready to start prepping the wires. Cool. All right, so that third point is done. The fourth point, the PLL bypass, is going to be probably the hardest. Like I said, it's going to be scratching into the silk skin. So I'm going to use a special little X-Acto knife that I have It's pretty good in scratching it. What I do is I use my X-Acto knife, the tip of it, and then also use alcohol. So I'll scratch, use alcohol, wipe it away to see what I'm at, see how much I need to go left, see what's exposed and what's not, because it will create more of a dust, and you'll see that. And then, yeah, I'll have a little exposed little circle pad for us. The point that we need to scratch away, see if we can point this out accurately to you guys. It's going to be this one right in the middle. So if you guys can see like how it's brown, or it's a darker green, in the middle of the darker green, basically between the R and the 3, right at the bottom, we're scratching that pad away. So that pad's going to be exposed, so we can solder to that. So let's get that X-Acto knife. I'll do this quick. This one is kind of a pain to solder and get a blob to. So it might take me a minute to, once I do scratch this off, to actually get anything on it, but we will do it. We will succeed. Just being very gentle with it. I don't want to go too deep. I just really want to just kind of scratch very gently, maybe in circles. Try to get that whole pad exposed. The more pad you have, the better off you're going to get a good solder joint to. If you use my method and use hot glue afterwards, there's a good chance that even during rough handling, shipping, throwing it around, falling off a table, anything, it'll still hold. Seen that happen to quite a few guys. They use tape. I don't really like that idea, but hey, whatever. So as you guys can see, it kind of created a little dusting. So what I'm gonna do is all right, so I could use a little more scratching on the bottom section of that. Let's see what that is. It's pretty decent. Let's go ahead and try this. Just do a little bit more in that bottom section, but that looks all right. Nice. I like that a lot better. A lot bigger of a pad to get onto. So next step is to just get some flux on there and try to get some solder to stick to that. Like I said, this is kind of one of the hardest parts in terms of in this tutorial is just going to be trying to really work with this PLL bypass. I think we got something. Cool. So that'll do. That's kind of what you need right there. That's it. So the next step in the process is just getting the wires prepped and then connecting them up. So let's go ahead and get the wires prepped, and we'll connect them right up. So give me 1 second. We'll be right back. All right. So we are ready to rock and roll. We're going to start by doing this one down at the bottom, and then we'll work our way up to the FT, or the PLL bypass, which would be the one that we scratched away. So this one we're going to angle just a little bit, kind of to the side, kind of like this. I'm actually going to kind of bend our wire, just kind of like pre-bending it. We should add a little bit more solder to this joint. Just I don't like how weak it looks. Could use an extra bit here. That looks much better. There we go. Much better. Beautiful. Now the long anticipated, the PLL bypass, the one we had to scratch away with silk skin. This one can be a little tedious, so see what we can do. There we go. It's a pretty good point. I'm liking that. All right, we can start moving on to the next two. The last two, and we're done. These two are pretty easy to do too, so congrats if you got this far and you got a good point like that. I would say that you pretty much are done. These last 2 points, like I said, are pretty easy, and then it's just going to move on to connecting the Nandex up. So let's go and start moving on to these next two wires, and we will do that now. So the next one is just right up north of it. Right here. So let's go ahead and add our flux to it. All right, we're gonna move on to our last and final point, and then we are done. That'll be right here. Connecting up right there. All right, sounds good. That is it. So all connections are good. At this point, let's go ahead and connect Nandex to the upper side. We're gonna redo the CPU cooler, put that back on. We will read the NAND, write Zel, get the CPU key, input the CPU key to JR runner. That'll build our modified NAND, and then we'll write that NAND to the Xbox, and then we are done. So enough with the close zoom ins. We are all done with the soldering. Congratulations if you got this far. Seriously, congrats. This is awesome. If you guys have stuck around this far and you've actually done this, I hope yours looks decent, maybe better than mine. Let's get on to the computer portion at this point. Okay, so what you're going to do now is basically open up JRunner on your computer, plug in power to the Xbox. You don't need to plug in the faceplate and power it on or anything. Then plug in your your Nandex to your wires. And then connect the Nandex to the PC. Here you get some lights. Oh, wrong way. Get some lights going up on this yellow and red. It's looking good. Just manually look at your wires, make sure nothing's bridging, cross them over. If that is the case, the console will read no console available or whatever. Okay, so on the PC now, what we're going to do here now is we are going to click the question mark, and it's going to read what kind of Xbox is connected. So we have a Trinity. I believe the Trinity and the Jaspers, their IDs are the same, or for some reason JRunner picks both of them up. But it is a Trinity 16 megabyte. So cool, it can read it. That is just saying hello to each other, basically, just to make sure that there is no bridge connections with your NAND X wires or nothing like that. Basically, you're able to see your Xbox and it's able to see your NAND. So because I have a previous RGH that I just did the other night loaded in my working folder, it's going to give me an error. If you've never done this before, it will not give you an error. But what you're going to do now is read your NAND. I may have actually... Okay, yeah. Cool. That's alright with me. I must have deleted my previous working folder NAND and moved it over and saved that. So I didn't actually get the error, so it's going to work out just like you guys are going to be doing it. So don't even worry about doing any of that kind of stuff. This is exactly what it's going to do for you guys right here. So it's just going to read the NAND. It's going to read it twice. And I will be back when it reads it twice. Alright, cool. So congrats, first one is done. It's going to do the second NAND dump, and then it's going to compare the two to make sure that both NAND dumps are exactly the same. And then we're going to move on to the next step then. So give it one more second, and we will read the second NAND. Alright, cool. So both NANDs are the same, and RGH3 is going to be selected by going up to glitch 2, and then selecting RGH3. Basically, then we're going to be doing is just creating Zell and then writing Zell. So we're going to do create Zell first, and then we're going to write Zell. And basically, what creating Zell is you're creating a file that has these settings selected. And then what we're doing is taking that file with these settings that we just selected and we just wrote, and we are writing this to the Xbox now. So we're going to write this to the Xbox. All right, cool. So as long as you got a success, we can unplug the Nandex from the Xbox. So I'm going to go over to the Xbox, unplug the wires, unplug the Nandex from the Xbox. We're going to keep the power supply in. We're going to apply the faceplate. We're going to put HDMI in, and then we're going to go and watch on the screen. That's what we do next. So let's go ahead and start disconnecting the wires here. All right, so if you got plugged in, nothing happens yet. Congrats, you didn't touch the front. I always struggle with that. So you're gonna have it all connected, have the TV on ready, and you're just gonna hit the eject button, and then on the screen, on the TV, Zell should pop up. It should be a blue screen, and I will show you guys that here as long as we did everything correct. So good boot on the Xbox. So Zell loaded, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait until the CPU key is present, and then when that is present, we will copy that down and put it in the JRunner. There it is. Cool. So CPU key and DVD key. You guys aren't going to see that. It's mine. And then we're going to put that into JRunner. So let's go ahead and copy that down and go back on the computer. All right, I copied it down. I'm going to shut down the Xbox, unplug it, or unplug the HDMI cable. We're going to undo the faceplate. Put that to the side. We're going to keep the Xbox plugged in like that. We're going to go over to the Nandex, plug that back in. Perfect. So now with the CPU key that we have, we can copy that, and we're just going to paste it into where it says CPU key. When we do this, it'll automatically start building and kind of doing what it needs to do in sense of getting all this information filled out based on that CPU key. The CPU key almost kind of unlocks the information of the console, tells it all the things that it didn't know before. So let's paste that in now. Cool. So we have our LDVs, our PDs, all that kind of stuff. Or if we went to the key vaults, all that kind of stuff. So next step is to basically create the XE build. As long as everything is correct, we are ready to write the NAND. Just go up and make sure everything is correct. Looks good. No errors. So we can write to the NAND. Awesome. So the NAND flash was correct and everything was successful. So congrats, you have successfully completed your RGH. Give a round of applause to yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back. Awesome. Let's go. So your slim is done. At this point, really, all you need to do is remove the Nandex wires from your board, clean up your flux and all that stuff. I'm going to go ahead and unplug it, unplug the power, and I'm going to work on the back side on securing my wires. So we are all done on the computer side. There's really nothing else left to do. We're just going to save our backup NANDs and all that stuff, and we will be good to go. So let's go ahead and work on unplugging this and finishing this up. Yeah, and that's basically it, guys. So that is the gist of RGHing an Xbox. I'm just gonna finish this up by putting the X clamp on. I will put it in its case, and I'll be putting this on the website. So if you guys are looking to buy an RGH, feel free to stop by at glitchconsoles.com. Message me on YouTube if you guys can. I don't know if you guys can do that anymore. Comment below, share the video. I'll have my email down in the description. I'll have a link to the website down in the description, and I hopefully will see you guys in the next one. I love you guys. Thanks. Peace.